The wounds of the First War. It all began after World War I ended in 1918. Germany was forced to sign a harsh peace deal called the Treaty of Versailles. It lost land, money, and pride. People were hungry, angry, and hopeless. In this storm of despair rose a man named Adolf Hitler. He promised to restore Germany's glory. His fiery speeches, hateful ideas, and powerful Nazi parties slowly took over the country. The fire of war ignites. By 1939, Hitler had built up a strong army, made secret deals, and captured parts of Europe without much resistance. But on September 1, 1939, everything changed. Germany invaded Poland. Just 2 days later, Britain and France declared war on Germany. The world was at war again. It was the beginning of World War II. Crossed swords. Nazi storm across Europe. Germany used a new tactic called Blitzkrieg, lightning war. Within months, it captured Denmark, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, and even France. Only one country stood strong: Britain. Despite endless bombings in the Battle of Britain, Prime Minister Winston Churchill refused to surrender. "We shall never surrender," he declared. The war goes global. In 1941, Hitler made a huge mistake. He attacked the Soviet Union. It turned into a brutal war on the freezing Eastern Front. Meanwhile, in the Pacific, Japan had its own ambitions. On December 7, 1941, Japan bombed the American naval base at Pearl Harbor, killing thousands. This attack forced the United States to enter the war, and everything changed. Snowflake turning of the tides. By 1942-43, the Allies, Britain, Soviet Union, USA, and others, began to fight back. Battle of Stalingrad. The Soviet army stopped Hitler in Russia. Battle of Midway. The U.S. Navy dealt a crushing blow to Japan. In Africa, Nazi forces were defeated at El Alamein. Beach with umbrella. The D-Day invasion on June 6, 1944, known as D-Day. Over 150,000 Allied soldiers landed in Normandy, France. It was one of the largest invasions in history. They pushed back the Nazis, liberated Paris, and marched toward Berlin. Skull and crossbones. The Holocaust. During the war, the Nazis carried out a terrible genocide. They murdered 6 million Jews in concentration camps like Auschwitz. Millions of others were also killed: Roma, disabled people, and political prisoners. It was called the Holocaust, one of the darkest chapters in human history. The end of the war. In April 1945, Hitler committed suicide in his bunker. On May 8, 1945, Germany officially surrendered. This day became known as VE Day, Victory in Europe Day. But in the Pacific, Japan still fought on. Then came a terrifying moment. On August 6 and 9, the United States dropped atomic bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The destruction was beyond imagination. On September 2, 1945, Japan finally surrendered. Dove aftermath and legacy. Over 70 million people died in WW2. Cities were in ruins, and families were shattered. The United Nations, UN, was formed to protect peace. The Cold War began between the US and the Soviet Union.